What is going on, YouTube? Patrick here. It's Wednesday, so it's time for a What Sold video. For those of you who haven't seen me before, my name is Patrick, and I'm a part-time reseller in Connecticut. Sell mostly on eBay, but a little bit on Facebook Marketplace and a little bit on Amazon. So it was a pretty good week last week. Sold 19 items, and I only ended up getting about 15 listed. So that ended up being pretty good. I was actually a little sick last week. I'm sure I talked about that when I did last week's What Sold video. Thank you. I'll be here all week. But yeah, definitely just when I was sick, didn't list anything, and then didn't try to make it up in the last couple days. And right, it's just kind of going into that holiday season now, and kind of everything I really, really wanted to get listed is already listed. So trying to just keep some listings going, but not really putting a huge, huge amount of effort into it. So ended up only spending about 3 hours doing listings, like I said, so not too bad. Especially not with 19 sold. And total sales, high again, $1,331. Like, holy cow, you guys. And one of them was a really big sale. So let's get into it, and I'll show you guys what sold last week. All right, up first is a DVD set. For sure, it's kind of funny. These have gotten really popular again the last year, I would say. Right, just especially like full sets. If you can get all of the different seasons of these and put them up as a bundle, they're doing really well. As usual, they're not like super, super amazing, so you can't pay like $5 a set for most of them. You want to pay more like $1, $2. And of course, during garage sale season, you can do that. Thrift stores are still pricing them really high, so you got to be on the lookout for those good deals at thrift stores. They're out there, but not as plentiful as garage sales, right? So this sold right $12.50 plus shipping, and I was only into it for a couple dollars. I ended up buying this and a VCR at a sale for I think $10 in total, something like that. So it ended up being a really good deal. Item number 2 this week is a book set. Got this I think pretty early season. I think actually Aaron the Picker was with us when I got this one, and paid 25 cents a book, right? So $1 for all 4 of them. And you can see it sold for $20. Now, of course, I got these back in early June, and it took them all the way until basically December to sell. So definitely a lot longer on they sat on the shelf a lot longer than you want. But hey, these can sit on a shelf somewhere out of the way and not take up a lot of space. So not bad for a book set. Item number 3 this week. This is a Heather item. My friend Heather's father moved, and I was helping her get rid of some of his stuff. And right, so we went through a whole bunch of boxes he had in storage, and there was a bunch of these old magic cubes, Selenium magic cubes in there. I put up a bunch of them in bundles, and it's taken a couple of years, but they're finally all sold now. So ended up selling for $12 plus shipping. And when I do this kind of a deal with a friend, I do 40% goes to me, 40% goes to my friend, and then I set aside 20% for fees and shipping and anything like that. So it ended up being about $4.80 will go to me, $4.80 will go to Heather. Thank you, Heather. Item number 4 this week, Wii Bundle. This one had 13 games with it, including Wii Sports. So right, I jacked the price up on this to $125. Normally, right, Wii's have been selling, I think about $60, something like that during the summer and fall. But I priced up 8 bundle of these things closer to $100, just thinking Christmas, maybe I can get those full prices. And of the 8 bundles, 5 of them have sold now. So I still have 3 of them left. And they may not sell. I may start to look to reduce the price on those now, see if I can't get them out the door before Christmas. But definitely they've been doing really well. I've sold a couple on Facebook and sold a couple of them on eBay. I think right, these were all from different bundles over the summer and over the year. So it's kind of a weird price. I was into it for $14.78, something like that. But that's what happens when you combine a bunch into a bundle like this. So right, for $15 basically into $125, great deal. We'll probably continue to do this again in next year and into the future, right? Just buying Wii's and bundles, selling off the valuable games kind of up front, and then putting Christmas bundles together. I've been doing this since the very first year I started doing this, so it's been about 10 years now, and Wii's are still great sellers at Christmas time. Item number 5, this was something I learned about on YouTube actually. Osborne to Thrift, he's out in Idaho, had bought some of these and said, yeah, I get about $50 for them. So I was like, great, I'll buy them and get $50 for them as well, which I did. I was kind of surprised about it because when I actually did my research, I was finding they're not selling for $50, they're only selling for like $30 plus shipping. And so what I discovered is he was talking $50 including free shipping. It's only really worth about 40. Even still, if I'd only sold it for 30, I was into this for $7.99 from a thrift store. So realistically, not a bad flip at all when it's a pretty easy item to take pictures of and need a little bit of cleaning, but not bad. So probably I'm going to continue to look for these next year. I just bought them, threw them in the storage unit, and then listed them up here between Thanksgiving and Christmas, basically. I got a couple more to sell. Hopefully they will sell also. We shall see. But yeah, nice little learning experience with these. He's really gotten me into a bunch of these different kitchen gadgets and kitchen things that they really wouldn't have looked into previously. So nice flip, $8 into $50. All right, item number 6, a Logitech Trackball. I don't remember where I had read about this, but somebody had mentioned that some of these trackball units can do well. I just bought this one randomly about a year ago, probably more than that, and I think I ended up paying 25 cents for it. And right, it's been for sale for probably 15 months. And right, I've got a little bin where I just put electronics, just toss it in there when it's these little form factor ones. And that's where it's at for the last year and a half almost. And it ended up selling for $13 plus shipping. Right, so for $25, 25 cents into $13, great flip. Just sat for a lot longer. Probably will not be buying these again. Who knows? But with the sell-through rate being that slow, probably not. Item number 7 is a Department 56 set. I guess about a month ago, I picked up 12 of these sets for $8 each, right? It was $100 for 12 of them. And then I ended up picking up another one at a thrift store for $8 as well. So I had 13 of these to sell. This is number 11 of the 13. And this one sold for $30. So with $8 into $30, these are great items to pick up and sell. They do sell all year long, but definitely they pick up around Christmas. I'm hoping the last 2 will sell between now and early January. And if not, I'm going to move them over to my storage unit until they sell, which they eventually will. Just may take a little while. Item number 8 this week. This one was from that last Saturday's estate sale video. If you haven't seen that, check it out. It was my best estate sale ever. I ended up spending $250 there, and it's going to be about $2,000 worth of merchandise. So this is one of the first few things to sell. It's not the first one. I think I had a few last week also. But this was a TiVo Mini. It was brand new in an open box. Amber actually found this one, so it was great. I thought probably it'd be worth about $50, and I actually listed it high just to see if it would sell for that, and it sold within a few hours actually at my asking price. So super happy with that. Because I paid $250 for everything, it's really hard to tell exactly how much I paid for this. So I try to go by value and just allocate the $250 by the value of the piece. So it ended up coming out to $5.50 is what I think I paid for it. So crazy flip, right? Going $5 into $70. Love doing that kind of stuff. Item number 9 this week. It's a little weird, right? So you know what that means. This one is
Amber's Weird Sale of the Week.
Picked this up the same day I got the Department 56 sets. Got a big Wii set with a bunch of games and a GameCube that day. So this one, I didn't think it was going to be worth anything, you guys. And what I found out is it detaches in the middle, so it made it really easy to ship, actually. I just put it up for $20 free shipping, thinking maybe it would sell, maybe I'd get a best offer, and it actually sold for that price. So after shipping, it ended up being $9.13. And since I didn't really think it was any value, I listed it kind of on a whim. I didn't put any value or any cost against it. So always nice when you have something that didn't technically cost anything sell for about $9. Item number 10 is a Wacom tablet, right? This is for artisans, the people who are doing work on their computer and they need a stylus and something else to use with it. Got this at auctionninja.com. There was a local auction a few weeks ago, and the guy had a whole bunch of really nice video editing equipment. So I bought some of it. I always try not to I basically set myself a top price I'm going to go, and I won't go over that. So I bid on like 50 items. I think I ended up winning 8, and even still, I ended up spending almost $200. But this was one of those items. So I paid $10 for this one, right? That was after the amount I bid on it, as well as 18% buyer's premium, meaning that goes on top of what you bid, and sold it for $40. So really, really actually solid flip there, right? $10 into $40. I'll take it all day long, right? As people like to say. Item number 11 is a Logitech Harmony Hub, right? This would go to a remote control also, which I did get. So I got 2 of these hubs and only one of the remotes. And what I discovered is if I parted out the two separately, I would get more money probably, right? Last week, one of the big sales I had was that remote, sold for $150. And then this one here sold for, I think it was $50 free shipping. So it ended up being about $44.27 after I took out the shipping costs, right? So almost $200 for these 2 things. Whereas if you put them together, it'd still only sell for about that $150. So not as good that way. So the when in doubt, parted out, it definitely is going to come into play here. What I proportioned for this one was $3.66 for the cost. So great flip going from that into $45 basically. Item number 12 is actually, I made a single listing for these 4 phones. So then somebody bought all of them at my asking price. So it ended up being $620 before shipping. And then it cost about $20 to ship just because I added insurance. Right? I definitely wanted to insure this up to the full amount. And then I added signature confirmation, which I don't normally do, but for such a high dollar item, I didn't want this to be one of those items that gets lost somewhere. No, you've got to sign for this thing and it need to be insured. So just spent a little bit extra money on it. So then after shipping, it ended up being about $597. Holy cow, you guys. If you can't tell, this one is the sale of the week. Almost as much money as I got for those crazy World War II ashtrays a couple of weeks ago. So just one of the best sales of the year right here. This is from that same estate sale that I put up last Saturday. Again, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It was crazy, you guys. This one I paid a little bit more for, right? $65 for this, but that's only almost just over 10% of what I ended up selling it for, which is a great purchase price for anything. Right? I'm usually trying not to go over about 20% for things. So 10%, I'm going to be really happy with that. I would have paid more for these probably, you guys. All right, item number 13. This is a weird looking remote control here from the same estate sale. We found 3 of these. Didn't know how much they were worth. Just said these look like quality. The rest of the stuff in this house was really good stuff. So I was like, let's just buy them and we'll sort it out later. All right, $35 plus shipping. That's great. And I ended up getting into this one for about $4. Getting close to the end, you guys. Item number 14, Samsung DVD Player. This one had a USB port on the front, which apparently was really desirable, and it was brand new and sealed. Right? I didn't look this one up either at that estate sale. Amber was like, do you want these? I'm like, brand new. It's going in the bag. We're going to buy everything we can get our hands on that's brand new. Ended up spending about $7 on this and sold for $80 plus shipping. So fantastic flip again. Right, a couple of these we're just going to go fast because it's the same story over and over again, it feels like. This one's a VHS VCR. It's a Sony. It had the remote. Came from that same estate sale. Sold for $75. Holy cow. So that's a great flip for a VCR. I think mostly the remote adds usually like $20 to the value to any of these. So even the best VCRs, right, you're going to sell for like $40, $50 without the remote. And then you can maybe command up to another $20 or $30 with the remote. And that's what I did here. I was like, let's just list it for $75 and see if it sells. Sold within a few days. So great flip. This one's very similar, about $7 for this one. Item number 16. This is another Heather item actually, right? She found a few more boxes at some point of her dad's stuff and went through this and ended up selling most of these in a bundle. But this book, for whatever reason, looked like it might sell for a good amount by itself. So I was like, all right, I'll separate this into its own listing. And I think I had it listed for like $30 or $35, and I took a best offer of $25. It had been listed for a couple of months, and that seemed like a fair price. So right, $25. So it's going to be 40% is $10 to me and $10 to Heather. Thank you, Heather. Item number 17. What is it? It was about 2 years ago. The third season of Stranger Things came out, and they do a lot of retro stuff, do a lot of nostalgia stuff. New Coke was in the show. And so they partnered with Coke and did this gift set. And I was like, this seemed like maybe it would be something worth money. So I bought 2 of them, one for myself so I could try it, right? I wanted to actually try New Coke. I didn't notice anything different, to be quite honest. I know people who drink Coke all the time would be like, oh yes, so different. I had no idea. But I saved one to sell, and price, the value never went up. So I was happy to get rid of this after 2 years, you guys, right? This thing has been for sale forever. I ended up selling it for $40 with free shipping. So after shipping, it ended up being about $23. And honestly, I do not remember how much I paid for this. I think it was something more like $30 or $40. So happy to recoup anything I got out of that. And it was definitely a bad purchase. But sometimes it's fun to take a risk like that. Item number 18. This one is like those singing fish, but this one's a singing deer. And found this at an estate sale kind of randomly and just thought, you know what, the fish have value, maybe these will have value also. And sure enough, it did. Now, of course, I didn't realize it when I bought it. It played the music, didn't realize he wasn't moving and singing along. If he was, this would be worth more. I don't remember the exact price, but I seem to think it was more like $100 if it was actually like still animated. So I listed it for $50 and made sure people knew that it wasn't working 100%. Definitely need to be repaired. And it took about a month or so, but it did sell for my asking price of $50. And the good news was I only paid $3 for this, you guys. So happy to sell it, happy to find it for $3. All right, last item this week, a Sony DVD player. This is from that same estate sale. Similar story to that other DVD player. This one wasn't quite as valuable, sold for $20 plus shipping. I was into this for about $2 at that low of a price, which is pretty crazy. All right, so that is all 19 items this week, you guys. Like I said, $1,331 in sales and had a cost of goods sold of $174. So just fantastic. I'm going to estimate about $200 in fees. And let's see here. So then after all of that, let's see here. We spent about an hour sourcing last week. I ended up spending my Saturday helping out my friend Matt. Matt, love you, buddy. And so I spent about 3 hours listing. And we actually spent a good amount of time shipping. We had a bunch of stuff to ship last week, so about 5 hours doing that. So altogether 9 hours. So if you take the $1,332, you minus out the fees, and you minus out the cost of goods sold, and then divide by the hours, so only the profit, it's $106 per hour, you guys. That's the best week we've had all year from that kind of a metrics perspective. Just insanity. It has been an amazing fourth quarter. It is, let's see here, something like 3 weeks. No, this is the fourth week in a row over $1,000, and about the seventh week in a row that was averaging about $1,000. So just crazy. This is the kind of money like that is right adjacent to being able to do this full time. And honestly, like I've done a really good job like staying focused, listing my items, going through the things that I buy and then making sure they get listed in a timely manner. Especially I really want to get stuff listed for Christmas. I always worry, like if I tried to do this full time, would I be able to actually find enough items to list? I don't know. I have heard that you need to be listing 10 items a day, selling 10 items a day, and shipping 10 items a day, something like that, 10, 10, and 10. And I'm at more like 3, 3, 3, right? I'm listing about 25 items a week. So what, divide by 7, right? Whatever that is. It's like 3 point something. It's not very many items. And I'm selling about the same, about 20 items a week, right? It's only about 3 items a day. So like just not quite there. So it's like if I could actually figure out that I could make it work and get the items in that I need to sell and then keep that process up of listing the 10 items every day, that would probably work. So I always get nervous about that. I'm very happy with my job, my corporate job. It pays really well and it's fun and it's rewarding. So this adds on to that, allows us to go on vacations, allows us to do some silly stuff, allows me to buy fun things. I like board games and I like to play poker. Not very good though, so allows me to play and not have to worry about where am I going to come up with the money for it. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for this week. If you've enjoyed this content, please do smash that like button. And if you've enjoyed this video or any of the other videos on my channel, please consider subscribing. If you just want to be watching, that's okay too. I don't mind at all. Once again, my name is Patrick, and thank you very much.